welcome to RPM, Rock and Pop Mandolin, your site for learning classic rock and pop songs on this wonderful little 8-stringed instrument. My name is Mike DeJong, and in this video we're taking a look at a classic from the Foo Fighters in the late 1990s. This one is called Everlong, a really classic song written by Dave Grohl, and Dave played almost all the instruments, including the main guitar parts in this tune. And what's really cool about this song are the voicings that he's using on the guitar. And actually, Dave says he doesn't even know what the chords are because he's really a drummer who plays a bit of guitar too, right? And I watched a video on YouTube where he said he didn't know what the chords are. He couldn't tell you what he's playing, but I can tell you what he's playing, and I figured them out for the mandolin, so I'll show you those in this video coming up, as well as the cool strumming patterns that he uses. If you're new here, thanks very much for checking us out. We really appreciate your support, but don't forget to hit that little red subscriber button on your way out. Really helps this channel to continue to grow. If you are a returning subscriber, thanks very much for coming back again, but please check out some of the links down below, including a new one called a Super Thanks. And some of you guys have asked if you could send me a little thank you, like a little tip or something like that. Well, you can do that by hitting the Super Thanks button. It's down there in the like bar. You can send us a little tip. It's kind of like a tip jar for a live band. You can put in $2, $5, whatever you want to help out this channel and help us continue to put out videos like this for you. There's also a link there for my new Johansson mandolin and to our Patreon team. Come on, join our Patreon team. We do fun things there every month, including live jam sessions. And also, don't forget to check out the lesson series that I have posted down below, the new lesson series for beginning to intermediate mandolin players. It's called Learn Rock and Pop Mandolin with Mike DeJong, 16 video lessons taking you from beginner to intermediate for only $29.99, a really great deal. But that's it for business here. Let's get on with this lesson, Everlong by the Foo Fighters, for mandolin here on RPM. All right, Everlong by the Foo Fighters. It's a really cool song in the key of D, and it employs some alternative tunings, or alternate tunings, whatever you want to say. It's actually on the guitar in drop D, which means Dave Grohl has tuned his E string down to D. All right, so he may not know what the chords are. In fact, he says that in one of his YouTube videos. He doesn't know what the chords are. He just knows that they sounded good when he was playing them, right? But I know what the chords are, and I'll show you right now. The first chord is this one, which is a D major 7 chord. The second chord is this one, which is a B sus2 chord. And then the third one is a G chord, a standard G chord on the mandolin. All right, and I'll show you the chords again, and then we'll get to the strumming pattern, all right? So that first chord, a D major 7. What's that? Well, it's the 2nd fret here of the G, 4th fret of the D, and 4th fret of the A. Okay, and listen to the difference between that chord and your standard D bar chord, like that. This is your standard D bar chord, but he's playing, right? It gives it a real sort of haunting, lingering sound, that it wants to go to the next chord. It's like a leading chord rather than sort of a finalized chord like the D major. So again, D major is like that, or like that, right? Whereas this one is a hanging D major 7. It employs that C sharp there, which is the 7th note of your D scale, all right? So it's 2nd fret, 4th fret, 4th fret. Your next chord, as I said, is a B sus2 chord, right? I'm playing it just with one finger barred across the 4th fret, 4th fret, and 4th fret right there. Again, on both of these chords, I'm not using the high E string, okay? Don't worry about that. These are three-string chords. All right, so D major 7, those 3 strings, and then here, B sus2. Again, that C sharp note makes it a sus2 chord. It's not a standard B like that. It's a sus2, again, giving you that haunting, lingering sound leading to the next chord, which is a G. Okay, that's just your standard G chord. You know that one, right? 2nd fret of your A string, 3rd fret of your E. All right, and then back to the B sus2 again. So those are the chords, the main chords for the verses of this song and the intro pattern, all right? So D major 7, and then B sus2, G, and then B sus2 again. Now, the picking pattern is where all the fun is with this song, and it's kind of an unusual picking pattern, and even Dave Grohl admits that in that video on YouTube. By the way, I'll put a link to that video down below. It's really great. He explains how he plays it on the guitar. And he says he approaches guitar like a drum set. He's a drummer, really, right? So he says the lowest sounding strings on his guitar, he approaches those like a kick drum and a snare on the drums. And then the highest sounding strings, he considers those like cymbals. So he said this pattern for Everlong is kind of like a drum pattern. Dun, 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 like that. So he's going... All right, so he's going basically low to high, low to high. So when he's hitting that low note, it's just one note down there on the G string. On the D major 7 chord, hits... So like that. And same pattern on the B sus2. You see that how I'm going low to high, high, low, high, like that? So, and I mean the lowest sounding here, not the low to high where they're placed on your mandolin. Lowest sounding note to highest sounding notes, right? So, now the G chord, he just kind of, and he goes right back to the B sus2. So the G is just like that, all right? So one more time, that strumming pattern from the intro to the song. All right, that's the introduction to the song. Now, the chords are the same for the verses, but the strumming pattern is not quite as intricate. I think he just sticks to the main chords rather than doing that low to high thing while he's singing, all right? So he just goes... he's playing the full chords throughout the verses while he's singing along. Yeah, I'm here for you, whatever the words are. Everlong, right? Something like that. Pardon my singing. Right, so he's just doing the main chords again there and not doing the little intricate up and down picking until the vocals stop, and then he does that again leading into the second verse. All right, so again, D major 7 to B sus2 to G to B sus2. Those are the chords for the verses of this song. All right, once you get through the verses, you have this really cool pattern that goes... That's really cool. So what is that? Well, that's actually a cool little scale. It's almost like a jazz scale that's played in this song, which is, again, amazing because it was written by a guy who doesn't even play guitar, or who didn't play guitar up to that point a lot. Of course, Dave Grohl plays guitar mainly now, but he was mainly known as a drummer back then. But this is a really cool modal scale, and I don't even know what mode it is. Maybe some of you guys who are watching can tell me what mode this is, starting on the major 7 of the D scale. So it starts on the C sharp note here of the D scale. C sharp is the major 7, right? It's the 7th note in a D scale. And it's the, you find it here on the G string, 6th fret. Okay, so you're going like that. Okay, so 6th fret, open, 2, 4, and then 4, 5, 4, 2. On the G string again. One more time. 6, open, 2, 4, 2. 4, 5, 4, 2. Down here to the 2nd fret of your G string. And now you're forming an A chord down there. You're not forming that D. You're going to form an A chord, which is 2nd fret, 2nd fret, 4th fret here. And you're going to go... play those 3 strings on the A chord. Again, I'm muting that high E. Okay, can you see I've muted that high E? All right, so once again, that little pattern. Like that. One more time. Okay, that's the pattern that leads into the chorus, but actually what happens is they don't go to that A chord into the chorus, they go to the B. So watch, like this. Not like this. Right? They go that note instead, so to form a B chord. So that's a little lead in to the chorus part of the song, all right? 2 times they go to the A, right? They do it again. The 3rd time they go to a B chord. Like that, okay? So that's again 6th fret, open, 2, 4, 5, 4, and then the 4th fret now of your G string, and 4th fret, and 4th fret again. That same B chord that I showed you earlier, okay? All right, and now we're into the chorus of the song, and I'll show you the chords here. It's a B chord, and this time he's not really playing that B sus2. He's just playing on the guitar like a B power chord. So we can do that here on the mandolin with just those 2 notes at the 4th fret of the G, 4th fret of the D. I'm playing it again with just 1 finger. You can play it with your pointer finger like I am, or you can play it with your 3rd or 2nd, whatever you like. Sometimes I play it like this, but I find I get the most power. I have the most strength in that 1st finger, so hitting that chord like that is a nice, powerful bar chord, all right? So so that's a B chord there. Then you're going G chord, then you're going D chord, and staying on the D chord, an extra bar. Then you're going B chord, G chord, D chord, stay on the D chord, B chord, G chord. Here's a change up, D, A, G, and back into that again. So what did I do there? Well, the pattern was so like that, 2 times through. Okay, and the 3rd time you're B, G, D, A, G. The song actually ends like that, too. It does this pattern twice. In the middle of the song when they go into that part again, and right at the end of the song where they do. Right, and that's just a down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, up pattern. So that's how the song ends. All right, that is Everlong by the Foo Fighters, a really fun song to play on the mandolin with some, some nice sounding jazzy kind of chords. Even though it's a rock song, you'll have fun playing that one, no doubt, on the mandolin. Thanks very much for tuning into this video once again and tuning into this channel once again. We really appreciate your support. But if you're new here, don't forget to hit that little subscriber button. If you are a returnee, thanks very much once again. But check out that new super thanks button down below if you want to thank us for our work on this channel. Also our Patreon links and the links to my new videos. My name is Mike DeJong. Thanks again for watching RPM.